When somebody sits down at La Posada and eats a cochinita taco or a pescado frito, they're eating not just what we put forward, but they're eating all the love that my mother and my grandmother and my aunts and uncles have shared with me. And also they're eating part of a heritage that is deeply rooted in love and, quite frankly, happiness. My uncle Felix, the patriarch of the family, started a Mexican restaurant. La Posada was launched in 1988, and we had 7 good years as a family working in Dingmansbury, Pennsylvania.
So tell us about his story, Felix's story. How did he come to the US? How did he get to Milford?
My Uncle Felix's story by itself is truly a fairy tale. He met my Aunt Carol through a pen pal program that my Aunt Carol had in high school. She had stayed in touch with my Uncle Felix throughout the years. They fell in love, they got married, and they moved to Milford, Pennsylvania. And they were here in the late 60s, early 70s. My family as a whole, we have everything to thank my Uncle Felix and my Aunt Carol for, and that meeting by chance.
Tell us a little bit now. We want to hear about your story.
I came to the United States in 1985. I was 11 years old. It took me about 3 months to learn the language, full immersion. I grew up in Milford. I went to school at a small Catholic school in Port Jervis, New York. I graduated from Delaware Valley High School in 1992. I attended the University of Scranton for 2 years. However, college was not in the cards for me. I was restricted by my immigration status as far as how much aid I could get and how much work I could do. But I got through it. I got married in 1997, and I started in the car business for 22 and a half years. Throughout those 22 and a half years, I always had an inkling or a yearning of getting back into the restaurant business. When I was a teenager, I did not like being in that kitchen. I didn't like being a dishwasher. I learned a lot from my mother because I worked side by side with her. But as a kid, I don't think you truly appreciate what eventually becomes some of the fondest memories that you have. After 22 and a half years in the automotive industry, I decided that it was time for me to move on. I started a small kitchenette in Lehighton in Carbon County, Pennsylvania. And March 15th of 2020, the pandemic hit, it closed everything down. By the grace of God, I had purchased a food truck, which I launched, called Pancho's Mexican Food Truck. And I was extremely busy for 2.5 years. It was incredible. I got the phone call from my Uncle Bill Rosado and told me it's time to do this on a bigger scale. He loved what I was doing with the food truck. He obviously wanted the family involved. And then La Posada became my project.
You didn't like it when you were younger, as you said, but then you transitioned to love it. And how did that happen, and who influenced you?
I love food. I love to eat. You learn how to cook because you always want to make food for yourself. I am half Maya Indian, half Spanish. The peninsula of Yucatan is predominantly Mayan Indian. Their food mixed with Spanish traditions and Middle Eastern flavors. And that's what creates the Yucatecan cuisine. When I decided to open up the restaurant, and I had the opportunity to open up the restaurant, that's what I wanted to bring forth. I wanted to bring forth a part of Mexico not everybody knows, number one, and number two, I want to bring those memories that I hold so dear in my heart onto somebody's table.
People expect from Mexican food tacos, enchiladas, burritos, but I know this is not the case here. Tell us a little bit about the menu.
So the menu reflects Central and Southern Mexican cuisine. We have quite a bit of seafood options on our menu. We have very naturally done vegan options. In addition to that, the flavors, the spices will be different from what people associate Mexican food to be.
Tell us a little bit what people can experience here besides the food.
So as soon as you walk through the doors, once you go through the threshold of the hotel and the restaurant, you'll notice the color appointments, the highlights, the woodwork, bird cages, stools, tile, Everything was done to mimic specific hacienda-appointed architecture from the part of Mexico we're from. It's been said that we don't quite know what the secret to happiness is, but there is no sad people at a Mexican restaurant. We have activities. We have salsa night twice per month. We have live music twice a month also. We have a beautiful patio and outdoor dining space. We overlook the Delaware River, so sitting out there on a beautiful day like today is incredible. Enjoy nature, good coffee, great food, incredibly friendly and knowledgeable staff, and it's an experience that I can truly say there's no other like it in Milford.
Tell us a little bit about how the Milford Hospitality Group has brought and enhanced the experience of being in Milford. What can people expect and experience here?
There's definitely a breath of fresh air that has come with the creativity and the intensity and the youthfulness that Milford Hospitality Group has brought to Milford. We have everything to offer to anybody, to any age group. If you have a family, you can go to Apple Valley. If you want to spend the night away, hanging out with friends, we have the Jive Bar and Lounge. If you want something more upscale with a metropolitan feel to it, we have Bar Louis at Hotel Fauchère. And if you want a great Italian meal with incredibly made pasta and sauces, we have the Tom Quick Inn. We are the youngest of the edition, but as a whole, 200 people that the group employs, all local. They are a force to be reckoned with. And I'm really excited of how they're changing the landscape. And not only that, they're making Milford a drive-to destination in the Poconos.
There are so many things to do and experience, right? Only nature and culturally and fun.
There is a lot of history in town to begin with. Milford is the crib of the conservation movement in the United States. There's a lot of artists, there's a lot of culture in Milford. The outdoor trails, the hiking trails, the biking trails, the rafting, kayaking, fishing, and those are just things that you can do within the town of Milford. As you start driving on the outskirts, the waterfalls are amazing. And I'm proud to call Milford my adopted home. You know, I've been away for some time and I truly miss being in Milford, and I'm really happy to be back again.